Hi everyone, this is Ovais Qassim of the new Condo Center at Premier Matrix Realty. We're here today with the one guy that I love to interview, Jason Lam. He's the VP of Sales and Development at CentreCourt. Thanks, Jason, for being here today with us.
I'm glad to be the one guy. I'm glad. It's an honor.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I love interviewing you. It's good energy and good information that we get out of you here. You're on the cusp of launching another project during the pandemic, Prime Condos. So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yes.
But I know that the market's absolutely insane. We're going to talk about that as well. So thank you for taking the time. I'm going to jump right into it. So obviously, the elephant in the room is COVID.
Yeah.
Society as a whole got hit, right? But the only thing that has stood up is the real estate market.
And done better.
And
outperformed itself.
Incredibly so. And CentreCourt was in a unique position to have actually launched multiple projects during this pandemic. So there was the pre-pandemic 55 Mercer.
Yeah.
There was the mid-pandemic 199 Church.
Yeah.
And mid-vaccine. What was the mid-vaccine one?
8 Wellesley.
8 Wellesley. Yeah, you just came out with that in January, right?
Actually, a month ago.
A month ago, so February. And I think you've sold.
100% sold.
Even 199 Church.
100% sold.
55 Mercer, pre-pandemic, done.
Done.
So 8 Wellesley, mid-vaccine. We're still mid-vaccine.
Yes.
You're coming out with Prime.
That's right.
Prime Condos at Jarvis and Dundas. So my actual question to you is, over the last 12 months, what's been the temperature like at CentreCourt? Like, I'm sure that, pre-pandemic, 55 Mercer, great. Then we launched into the pandemic. What were you guys thinking? And, how did it evolve over the next 12 months to what we're at today?
It's a good question. I mean, I think for us, it's keeping a pulse on the market. It's speaking with professionals such as yourself, platinum agents, that give us a lot of intel on the front lines, right? So resale is a huge indicator of how the market behavior is working, what are people prioritizing. But we're seeing month over month, after April, when we went into May, and things really started to take off, right? We started to see just a crazy appreciation month over month on the low-rise market, a ton of demand, so sales volume was stronger than we've ever seen. So 2020 as a whole outperformed itself. And the writings were on the wall, right? We saw that there was a lot of demand in the low-rise, price was really high. Condos were going to follow because they always follow. You go back in time and you look at market history, price gaps and buyer consumer behavior, it's the next logical step. So, with the interest rates being low, people moving out of the city, I think a lot of the data that Treb was giving us and agents were giving us, we were cautiously optimistic. And we also believe that in Toronto GTA, we have the DNA to own real estate. Like, it's like own.
It is incredible.
And the pre-construction market is such a unique market. I think a lot of people were really faced with a lot of variables they couldn't control and they didn't know. Yeah. But they knew that this was a short-term issue. So, people that are looking at inflation taking place, looking at prices going up, people that aren't sure about the stock market or their businesses, they have cash, they have capital, they're saving money because they have nothing to do, but they're looking at real estate as a tangible asset long term. And that fundamental doesn't change. It wouldn't change. So when we launched 199 Church in July of 2020, that came after a couple of major launches. And look, what happened? A ton of pent-up demand. A ton of people that had a long-term vision of how they want to play out their future and how they want to build wealth. They want to build a foundation. And then going into 8 Wellesley, circling into 2021, we had a lot of confidence because right now, I think people are in a routine. And they're really starting to think past the post-pandemic life.
Yeah.
Where's my next vacation? What am I doing with all the money I've saved? What's the life I want to lead? Understanding, knowing that I've been living a very unique lifestyle for the last 12 months is when this is over, I have to start thinking about the future. I got to think about my kids. I got to think about the next steps. outside of vacation naturally. So, I think right now we couldn't be in a hotter state. And I think a lot of that is shifting from resale into pre-construction because of the pricing, but also people with the logical sentiment that it's gonna, it's all gonna circle up. Like if the market's hot now, which it is, we don't even have the key market drivers on full effect. Immigration, tourism.
No, that's dead.
It hasn't even started.
No.
Oh, well, not that it hasn't started, but it's not a major component in today's market. So if it's white hot now, think about what it's going to look like in the next 3 to 6 months. And that gives us a lot of confidence. So I would say, being logical about the market and having a sensible outlook of where can it go? Like what is really the next step? What's the most logical move? Understanding the market, both from a historical standpoint, but also what's happening on the front lines today. That's important. So we've got a lot of confidence, so to speak. Now,
the price increases that have occurred in the low-rise market over the very short span of time.
Insanity.
The inflation that may be on the horizon.
That's right. It's literally, it's happening, at the lower levels today. And you're going to see that, definitely arise in the next 6 to 12 months.
I think that, would you say that, cash in the bank of 100, 200,000 invested in anything, in any real estate, condos, versus just staying in the bank, obviously a way better idea?
I would say that, it wouldn't matter when. I think most people would prefer not to have a cash in the bank even when times are good. I think you want to deploy that capital when times are good because you want to ride the good times. And when times are bad, you want to isolate markets that are timeless and tangible and necessities. So it depends what your ideology is. But I think right now the focus is, how do I turn cash into a hard asset?
Yeah, and keep and basically avoid it being devalued.
Correct. I think that's really at the forefront of a lot of people that are that understand, what's taking place in the marketplace today. And I think there's a lot of concern over the future of their kids.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, I need to invest capital into the market now because I don't know what it's going to look like. Forget about 6 to 12 months. Let's look at 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And so they're planning ahead, like I mentioned, and that is why pre-construction is such a unique opportunity.
I've had about $8,000. Imagine if I had $80,000 invested in RRSP. I did that 20 years ago. And I look at the money market CIBC statement that I get every month and I laugh. It is still below $9,000.
Wow.
And that's 20 years. So imagine if I had put in $80,000 into that RRSP. And people say, yeah, it's a tax saving because you're not paying taxes on it. So pay half of it in tax, take $40,000 and invest it anywhere in real estate. $40,000 back then was a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Today, that would not be $40,000. It would be God knows what, but it would be a lot better. So, with inflation on the horizon, there's no better place to put money than real estate.
I believe that to be the case. I think it's comfort, right? It's your threshold of what's familiar and what is complex and complicated. Like stock markets can be complicated.
It
is.
No,
in
it's
fact,
not for everybody.
It's not for everyone, and there's a lot of risk and there's a lot of volatility. If you look at the last 10 years, 15, 20 years of our real estate market, and in particular GTA, there's not a whole lot to be overly concerned with, and when there was, it was a very short spurt. And so I think at least a hard asset, you understand that you can rent it, you can live in it, you can sell it.
Yes.
And in pre-construction, it's going to take time. So this isn't ready for another 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
So you're really just
taking money out of the bank, putting it into a deposit,
and just hanging out.
Better than being in the bank.
Absolutely.
One of the other things that I wanted to discuss today was the 905 area. A lot more projects have been launched there.
Yeah.
People's focus has kind of switched to 905. I strongly believe that, downtown's going to be flooded again, and people have just kind of not realized that,
You're starting to see it now.
Yeah,
I think you're starting to see, all it takes is a sunny Saturday.
Yeah,
for people to understand what downtown is.
Yeah.
And you've got the 905 coming in, and they have to drive, they have to commute, and then they realize how rough traffic is on a good day.
Yeah.
But I'm going to cut you off for a second, and I think what you're asking is like right now, if you want product, it's 905.
Yeah.
Right, and you're seeing mega projects, mega communities, master plan, 1 to 12 towers, and these are projects that will literally take decades to bring to life.
Yeah.
And they depend on a subway or a GO train.
Yes.
That's what's propping
make it
it up.
viable.
To make it make sense to investors or purchasers to ultimately get back to Toronto, to get
Yeah.
back to the downtown core is the ironic part. And where right now I think we're seeing a shift where 12 months ago, 10 months ago, we were so afraid of 416 downtown.
Yes.
Now it's the exact opposite. There are so few launches in the downtown core. And again, land is finite, right? Like they don't come around easy. Prime is a great example. It's supposed to launch 2.5 years ago.
Yes.
That's a testament to CentreCourt never bringing a site that's not zoned, but it's a testament to understand how long it can take
For a downtown site.
to a downtown site to come online. So I'm going to let you finish your question. Sorry.
Yeah. So now I think that the 416 has started. I mean, there's been 8 Wellesley. There was the
Canary House.
Canary House. There was Concord doing another project. There's you guys, 400 King. Those are all testament to downtown Toronto still being in my opinion, the first and point of investment. I've always invested in downtown. 905 has been great, but I think we're going to be seeing a lot more people coming back. Is that what you're seeing? I mean,
I think you're seeing it firsthand, and I think people understand the lifestyle value. They understand the infrastructure. Again, it all comes down to jobs.
Yeah.
Employment is a fundamental. Employment, institution, infrastructure. Those are things that we value as a developer. If you look at our portfolio of sites, they surround those, and our investors always do well.
On that point, we're going to pivot into downtown east,
Yes.
which I know you guys are very, very big on. So Prime is effectively east of Yonge.
Yes.
And you've had many other projects east of Yonge.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about what makes east of Yonge just as close to downtown as the west side of Yonge.
Well, let's talk about the west side of Yonge. To understand the east, you got to have that context, right? So west of Yonge is Bay.
Yeah.
West of Bay is University. What were the last launches in those pockets? That's like one in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And what would it be priced at today? $2,000 a foot.
Too much.
So in the exact same distance west, you're going to go east, and you look at Church, Jarvis, you even look Sherbourne, Parliament.
Yes.
These are you have no choice.
No.
We're gonna go east. The blueprint is there. You can follow it, or you can choose to ignore it.
You've been there for the last 10 years.
We've been there for the last 10 years. Core Condos, 411 Church, Grid Condos, 199 Church, Prime.
Yeah.
And so no one knows the area better than us, because it comes down to amenity programming, floor plans, who's buying, why are they buying, what do they like to buy, what do renters look for, what type of sizes do they like, what's too small, what's too big. So we're kind of experts in the East Core that we call it. But the beauty about the East Core is the value is there, right? When you're talking $2,000 a foot west of Yonge and you're going east of Yonge, and maybe it's nowhere close to that. Yeah. But think about all the projects that have sort of are trailblazing for the area for change and revitalization. Like we're not trailblazers. Prime is not a trailblazer. Prime is actually going to complete when a host of other projects are well established.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You're going to see change. You're going to see change. You saw it in Regent Park. You saw it in Liberty Village.
True.
You saw it in VMC. Like density changes everything. You're going to change the moral fabric of the neighborhood from a business demand. Ryerson's going to change with it.
Yes.
So there's a lot to like from an upside perspective. A, you've got no choice. B, there's going to be a ton of launches coming up. Anyone that's a truly big developer or a big brand, they all have developed, are developing, or are going to develop on Church, Jarvis, Sherbourne, Parliament in the near future. I pretty much guarantee that.
So you've got top 3 or 4 attractions. Ryerson is a big attraction.
It's number one. Look. I think you want to talk about other projects. Not a single project in the GTA has Ryerson across the street. And what Ryerson represents is an insurance policy as an investor. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Insurance policy. You want to talk about Go Subway Station? That's great, but I've got 47,000 students that constantly regenerate year over year. That's what you're looking for. Yeah. There's a lot of Go stations.
Not to mention faculty.
There's a lot of subway stations. Yeah. Exactly. But to have this institution that's only growing, have basically access to no beds on campus, and solely depend on the private sector to rent,
Yeah.
Like that's an insurance policy. Because from the day you buy this, the day you close it, you are able to choose from highly qualified students that parents pay the rent, parents pay the tuition, parents pay for the lifestyle. Then you've got international students that are not from here. They pay a premium in rents, premium in tuitions, premium in lifestyles. And their parents that are not here, they want them as close to campus as possible. So you've got that. And faculty is a great layer to add on because in good economies, students go to school and rent. Bad economies, students go to school and rent.
Yeah.
So that is one. That's your insurance policy as an investor to not be afraid of who's going to rent.
Yeah.
Next step, you're 10 minutes to Yonge Street.
Yeah.
You have access to 2 subway stations.
Yeah.
The irony is that you don't even need the subway stations.
You walk.
You're walking.
Yeah.
You can walk to the University Health Network. You can walk to the financial district.
Yeah.
That, both of which are creeping east.
They are.
They're coming to you.
Yeah.
So you can ride that wave. They're not here today. They're literally coming to you day by day, starting with Google. And you've got the tech hub. You've got the entertainment district. Everything is walkable. And then what that gives you is opportunity for employment.
Yeah.
So employment institutions such as
That's right.
Ryerson, now you're casting a massive net to find who your tenant is because you want control. You want to choose your tenant.
Yeah.
So you've got a very safe, never-ending rental pool. And then should you want to go outside of that, you've got medical students, you've got
doesn't have to be
people in the
students.
medical field, you've got law, you've got you've got finance. You pick your poison. Tech. And that's why downtown, that's why people are seeing it again. And it's the lifestyle. Forget about all these employments. Is the lifestyle, that's why everyone wants to live downtown. They want to rent a unit downtown. So look, it's the fact that we have to talk about why downtown is so attractive is, again, I think it just shows that we're turning a corner and people are seeing the light. People are sort of reminded of the value. But also it's the impact of the price points that you're seeing in the 905.
Yeah. Yes.
You're seeing
absolutely.
prices in 905 Fringe 416 hit numbers you never would have thought you'd see.
Over 1,000 is easy now.
That's
in
not
the
even a
905.
conversation.
Yeah.
And so when you make that relative comparison, especially when you're paying 20% down, the incremental cost of what you're dishing out, it is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. If you're buying pre-construction and this is not a consideration, then I would say that you need to do a little bit more research because this should check off every box that you have when it comes to what you're looking for, what the potential is, who the developer is, and when it's going to be done. Those are, it doesn't get better than this.
On that note, let's go right into the reason why we're here today, Prime.
Yes.
Tell us about Prime in terms of everything, but amenities is crucial these days.
Yeah.
How many suites you have, how tall is it?
Sure. Why are amenities important? Like I find that a lot of buyers kind of brush off the idea of amenities. Like that's not important.
They used to, yes. Now I think it's not.
But when you, for example, when you walk into a 6,500 square foot gym, even if you don't use the gym, that'll blow your socks off, right? You're just kind of staring like, whoa. I could see why this is attractive, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to speak to the people that are going to live in the building. You don't want them to leave. You want these amenities to be these intangibles that you can't find in another building.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about amenities first. We've got a 6,500 square foot gym. That's 6 times bigger than whatever I live in today.
Yeah.
Most people live in 2,500 square feet of living in a house, right? So this is more than double.
That's true.
So think about that gym space. Who's using it? It's not a room like you see in old buildings.
No, it used to be.
This is a real gym. This is a real facility, should I say. Then you've got a shared co-working space that's used as a dynamic lounge for collaboration. Again, the condominium is you're not confined to just your suite, right? Like you've got amenities, and if you're going to be paying maintenance fees, make sure these are amenities that are functional, that they're usable. And studying our own past buildings, these are the 2 amenities that are the most sought after. No one's looking for a pet spa. No one's looking for a music room. No one's looking for an e-game sports lounge. These are not things that people use en masse.
Yeah.
Those are very specialized. So for us, it's rather than do a bunch of small things, it's maximize the things that matter, right? Collaboration, working from home, right? That's going to be a new norm. And so, but I think it fits the demographic of the area, the young professional, the student, the medical professional. These are the ones that are probably not home very often, are going to be in and out, mostly doing a lot of work. But then when they do have free time, they're running around downtown, living the lifestyle, right? So the amenity is a big part, and obviously the lobby is a big role. When you step in the lobby, it has to be this
attractive,
elegant, mature, sophisticated feel that sort of gives you a sense of what to expect in the rest of the building. We've got a beautiful, beautiful lobby that sort of meets that standard. But in terms of the building itself, you're looking at a 45-story building that houses 595 incredibly unique opportunities, because, and that's what it is, right? It's 595 and that's it. And there's going to be 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people that want to buy.
Limited number.
I mean, 595 sounds like a lot, but it's not. When you compare that some of these mega projects have 1,200 units, or so on and so forth, 3,000, 4,000 students, units. This is very limited. And then think about the next launch that's going to come. They naturally get more expensive.
Of course.
That's just the way it works in real estate. So the value, I think this will be the most affordable, downtown condo because of the floor plans, right? They are the most efficient floor plans you'll find. And again, just sort of being the masters of the downtown East Core, we've really refined what is something that people look for. But the efficiencies, the functionality of the floor plans create low-end prices.
Yeah.
And as an investor, that's what you're looking for,
Absolutely.
right? You want a good price by a AAA developer that has this sort of, insurance policy when it comes to renting my unit out from day one, and you've got that.
Yeah. When is the project launching?
That's a good question. It's launching in mid-April, mid to late April, and we're going to be in the market. It's going to be fast. It's going to be, as we usually
do,
tend to operate. So I think now's the time to educate, calling Ovais and his team to learn about the market, right? It's all about education. What is pre-construction? Why is it beneficial? Who are the players like CentreCourt? Why does prime make sense from a locational standpoint, also from a long-term, from my long-term objectives when it comes to building generational wealth? And then when it comes time to sell, the decision's made. Right? And then it's just a function of finding, the right option for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jason, for taking the time out today. Prime Condos launching mid-April. Register at newcondocenter.com. Thank you so much.